Been out of bed yet. This next story may knock you out of bed. The U.S. may be indirectly and unintentionally funding the Taliban. That's right, you heard me right. A new congressional report suggesting that we're paying tens of millions of dollars to Afghan warlords to secure convoys carrying supplies to our troops in Afghanistan. And that money could be heading straight into the hands of the Taliban. Congressman Jeff Flake joins me now from Phoenix and shed some light on the shocking new report. Nice to see you this morning, Congressman.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so how in the world is this happening? Is this true?
Well, we, instead of having our own troops in Afghanistan guard the supply lines that move goods from military base to military base, we engage in what's called a host nation trucking contract. Just to give you some idea of the size, the entire Afghan economy, or GDP, is about $13 billion. This contract is worth $2.1 billion. So it's a lot of money, and with that contract, those who move the supplies are required to provide their own security. Now, of course, much of the country is controlled by the Taliban or elements that are sympathetic to the Taliban, and so what happens is as much as $1,500 per truckload.
Wow.
And there are approximately 8,000 to 10,000 truck missions per month is protection money, basically, so those who control the roadways, whether they're Taliban or the people sympathetic to the Taliban, can let the trucks pass through.
Yeah, there was a great piece in the Sunday New York Times about 2 weeks ago about how you could count on these Afghan warlords. They knew that they give them $15,000 and that supply of that truck supply would make it to where it needed to make it to because they could depend on them. $15,000. But you're saying a lot of this money then is being filtered out into the countryside to the very people we're fighting.
Right. That's the problem here. It's certainly more efficient than having our own military guard the supply lines. When the Soviets occupied Afghanistan, for example, 75% of their force structure was used simply to guard those supply lines. And so they only had 25% to occupy the country.
We're almost out of time, Congressman. I got to ask you, how do we stop this?
Well, we've put some recommendations in the report in terms of more oversight, but it's going to be difficult because as long as these elements control much of the countryside, you're going to either have to pay protection money or use our own troops, and neither is an attractive option.
So we've got the poppy fields on the one side that we can't eradicate and get rid of that's also funding the Taliban, and we've got our own money now filtering to the Taliban via these truck contracts. Congressman, thank you for shedding some positive light this morning on this story. We appreciate it.